Welcome back to another episode of the No Filter Tattoo Podcast. It's the usual, guys.
We in here.
We in here. Finally, right? Second episode of 2025. So, I mean, y'all, let's do the intros like always. So, it's me, Theo.
Bryson.
Tiz,
Theo.
Right.
And
All
our wonderful guest.
Mindy Su.
Okay, there we go.
Right now, we got the plots going crazy. But
Yeah.
again, so we got the great Mindy Su, a.k.a. Mindy Su versus the World on Instagram. So, go ahead, give her a follow.
You did change your name.
Right. I like it.
YouTube
I like it.
too.
I
Shout
do.
it out.
Got a YouTube channel. What's the YouTube channel?
Well, I do Layla and Mindy, which is me and my girlfriend, and then I also just do Mindy Su. I think it's Mindy Su 26 still over there.
Bet.
Yeah.
So definitely
Make sure you check
subscribe.
out.
Appreciate y'all.
So if y'all don't know Mindy, she is co-owner of One Love Tattoo in Douglasville, Georgia. Great shop. We had the other co-owner, Tino, on one of our earlier episodes. And you are actually Tino's, like, I guess you call him first or second, one of his initial apprentices, right?
Right.
Right. So
That's when you insert the little part where we had Tino in there.
right.
And it's like memory bank.
But yeah. So let's. How you doing? Like, what's going on with you? And,
I'm
like,
doing awesome today. Not much happening, honestly, but
I mean, you alive? You tattooing?
yeah. Mm-hmm.
You
got
talking to
the
us?
dog.
Right.
We
dog is
definitely
my
see your
dog
dog
right
alive.
Right.
My dog getting old, but I really.
How old is the dog?
She's pushing 13.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
What's your
Old
dog's
lady.
name?
Miley. Her name is Miley.
Shout out to Miley.
Shout out to freaking Miley.
Nah, that's dope. But okay, so living life with the dog, lady, everything's good.
Yeah.
Tattooing. How many years you been tattooing now? Right.
2025 in fall, I'll be doing 5 years.
5 years. All right.
So
So
4.5, I guess.
nice. So you went from apprentice to now co-owner with your mentor in the span of 5 years. So like, just give us like a brief like feeling. Like, what are you like overwhelmed? Are you like happy, excited? What's going on?
Was it like a maelstrom of feelings?
Right.
Right. I guess in the situations of what we had to go through was like quick thinking of like, I don't know if y'all knew, but we were in a private studio of how he taught us first. And then we just grew bigger and bigger. And eventually we had to get a shop. And with the shop, it takes a lot of work to run a shop.
Yeah, no lie.
And to do it all by yourself, you really got to have that like momentum and dedication to really want to run this and run it how you want to. But and you got to pay attention to a lot of stuff. And for one person to run all that, I do think it's a lot. And at the time, like we he just wanted to share responsibilities and help out, see who's a good business partner to try to build something with. And yeah.
You fit that mold. So
Now, when you say the private studio, are we talking about the clothing line? Or are we talking
Right.
about...
So basically, I met him in the one that's in the center of Douglasville, which is like the town city, which was
I
Yeah.
remember.
yeah, which is a really
That was
small
Green Vibe
one.
Art, right?
Right,
Yeah.
Green Vibe Art. And then eventually we moved from that one because we were growing bigger and bigger to like a bigger warehouse looking one. I say warehouse, but it was just like an extremely big building for no reason.
Yeah, it's big.
Yeah.
I remember the videos. Though.
Yeah, but like we fit a lot of stuff in there, and we had a lot of people in
It was
there
dope,
too.
yeah.
Because Tino teaches in groups sometimes. Now he pays attention to like 1 to 2 apprentices
Okay.
now.
Speaking of, so yeah, let's
Yeah, y'all can
let
ask me
you,
how.
like how. Give us like a brief description, like your apprenticeship process, and like you said, how
Right.
you did. Like it was a bit unorthodox, right?
Right. It's definitely different from a traditional one. So I understand why people are like, "What? Like, how did you do this?" And
Tino's
how?
a madman, but
Right,
it,
he
it
really
ain't work.
is.
Y'all juggle. Like,
Right. So basically, like, I really wanted to tattoo. I was willing to go to anybody. If you did horrible tattoos, I was gonna go to you.
How old was you when you decided you wanted a tattoo?
So basically, like, I guess the start of it is me being in high school, and I'm originally from here in Georgia, but I went to high school in Louisiana, and
Okay, I didn't know that.
yeah, so and I went to high school, like way bottom south in Louisiana, where it's a very very small town. It's just like white people and black people basically.
You're
and
like the
I
only
was
Asian
like,
person.
yeah, I was like 1 out of 2 Asian people who graduated in my class.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and then there's like a little handful of Hispanic people and a lot of like Native American people.
Okay.
But yeah, when I was going to high school there, and I graduated as a junior because their education system is like a little bit behind. And so I
Gotcha.
had like,
So you smart as shit. You got it.
no, it was just like, honestly, I just
Flexing, yeah.
had, I guess, credits like considered down there. It's like,
Got you.
yeah. And so I graduated early. And so I graduated as a junior. So I only had 3 years of high school. And as a junior, when I was in like art class with my friends, we were all trying to figure out, what are you about to do like after school, you know? And I like one of them would be like a film, like want to be a film director, and I just want to be a tattoo artist. I just thought like I wanted to do art but make some sort of money as well. But originally, like I think what most people think when you're working as a tattoo artist, you think you're just going to be in a shop and draw little things.
Yeah, right.
But definitely the apprenticeship that I took was very different. And when I moved back over here in Georgia, I just worked full time and I was looking for somebody to teach me. And I would just go get tatted by different shops. And I got tatted by Amanda actually.
Oh, shout out
When I
Amanda.
first moved over here. Yeah. And I followed her on Instagram, and I remember she posted something about, like having an apprenticeship open. And like I said, I was willing to go to anybody, and I would tell people, call shops and be like, hey, are you looking for an apprentice?
Right.
And yeah, I saw she posted that, and so I just reached out to Tino, and Tino sent like a little application, filled it out, and I was like super late for the application. I was just like hoping that he
Damn.
would take me. Yeah.
Almost didn't even happen.
Right. He like sent a message on Instagram. I didn't open it until like way later. And it basically, the first thing that it says is, fill this out by 10 p.m. today. And I'm looking at it at like 10:30, and I'm like, oh my God. But yeah, he sent this application. He just basically said, meet up here on this day. And we met up, and I see like 8 other people.
Damn.
I know. And I didn't know like that's how it was going to go. But I just see like 8 other people, all different types of people. And basically, he just gave us a task, which was to show up with like your own drawing of a Sacred Heart. And it was your interpretation of it, so you could do anything. So everyone has like a different style, and he just said like you gotta put like 10 hours in it or something like that.
Okay.
And I'm pretty sure I just did mine the night before. Mine was definitely not the best, and I remember
Orders for him.
yes, and I remember Pablo walking in. He's a big dude, already tatted, has the best drawing out of all of us. And I was like, dang, like, I'm competing against him.
That's
This
crazy.
is crazy. Right. But eventually, yeah, that same day of when we first met him, he just explained his life and how he got here and why he's looking for these people. And I was like, cool. He seems like a really cool dude, very humble. And, he had good work. But like I said, I didn't care if you were a scratcher and you were like, yeah, I'll
Right.
teach you. I just
Just
wanted
need a
to
foot
learn.
in the door.
Right,
I
exactly.
understand that.
And yeah, that same day he sent us home with tennis balls.
Oh, yeah.
And it was like a tube of tennis balls. It has like 3 of them. And he'd be like, all right, in 2 weeks, y'all gonna return. And if you can't juggle, don't even show up. And I was like, this is crazy. Like he thinks we're clowns. This is crazy. And his purpose in it was that he read a book and basically was saying that if you're willing to like learn to juggle and dedicate this to do this, he sees like the effort and everything in it. And so that day came up to where we had to come, and one guy didn't show up, so I assumed
Dang, he
like,
gave up already.
right, exactly. But
how
it
it is,
weaves
yeah.
out all those people.
Right.
And so, man, we're in this small little room, and he making us stand in the middle and juggle. And imagine it's like 8 people around you, and
You
you're
nervous?
just trying to juggle. Yeah, I was nervous. I was like, I don't even know these people.
How'd you do?
Horrible. He was like, and as he was like telling us instructions, he's like juggling, like talking to us. So he's like, yeah, so if you can't do this for like a minute or 2, don't even show up. And so it's like,
Oh, wow.
right,
Quick
like
game.
1 minute is a pretty long time.
Damn.
And I showed up. Nobody could juggle for more than 10 seconds. We would just like do a couple rounds and drop it. But he was like, okay, well, at least like it weaved out that guy and so. But he still wanted us to juggle to see if we were like, dedicated. So when he threw us some balls, he would be like, juggle. And
That's dope.
yeah, after that, it was just getting assignments and trying to see where everybody was at on their like level of art. And he would give us like stippling drawings, do 3 of these stippling drawings, and then we would move to like something else, like painting, do 3 of these little paintings. Next you gotta do like the iPad. And he taught us, I definitely feel like we were in the wave of rotary and iPad designs. So that was like very new to me too. And he taught us a lot on that.
Okay.
And then eventually, like, people were just getting, like, knocked off. Out of 8 of them, there was only, like, 4 people left.
Yeah.
Damn, okay.
And-
I remember that timeline too.
Right.
So
and it's,
how were you like? You kind of savage though. You were like, you had
Well,
that dog in you. You was like,
yeah,
yeah.
so
I'm,
to me, I was really young. I met Tino when I was, like, 19 years old
Mm-hmm.
and, like, just turned 19. And I really wanted to be a tattoo artist. I guess some people, they're like, maybe I want to be a tattoo artist,
Right,
like
right.
this, and this. But I was like, I didn't know nothing either.
Right.
Like, you don't know anything about it until you really do it. And I just really wanted it. And so I was just like, I don't care. Like, I'm going to be this one apprentice. Because I thought he only wanted 1. And eventually when it got down to 4, and people would get knocked out from, like, either they had to work, they didn't do these assignments on time, this, and this. They just had
Work related stuff.
Right, exactly. And, some people have families too. So it's like a lot of stuff got to line up for you to be a tattoo artist.
Yes.
right. No, that's important right there.
Oh,
like you
yeah.
said.
And to me, like, I had nothing going on for me. I was just working and I really wanted to get, like, my foot in the door. And so, yeah, eventually it was just like Pablo, this other girl, and me. And then Tino was trying to get rid of one of us, and he was like, it's either me or this other girl.
What?
Yeah. But I don't take it to heart or anything, but I was just like, oh man, it's down to this round. And it's me, and he picked the other girl and Pablo because they're already set up for it. I don't think they were working. I came after work, so I would work like all day and then come after at like 6:00.
Oh, where were you working? Like,
I mean, prior to doing tattoos, I worked in literally everything from restaurant jobs and warehouses. But the last job I had was a warehouse.
okay.
Damn. Okay.
Did you set up your warehouse hours so you could do your apprenticeship? Because I know they have different shifts.
No, so I was working prior to like going into the apprenticeship, but the last warehouse that I worked in was like a smaller one, and they were very like lenient with the time. As long as you did your 8 hours. Some people would come in at like 3 a.m. till whatever.
I can see
and
that.
then have the rest of the day.
Lead the club and then
Yeah. And so I would drive all the way from Gwinnett to Douglasville.
which is about
After
an hour.
Right. After work at like 4:00. So that's 5:00 traffic. And sometimes it would take me like 3 hours to get over there.
Okay.
Damn.
Yeah. And then Tina would be like, oh, I just finished the tat. And then be like, you can stay for a little bit, but I'm going to leave. And I'm like, dang, like, but that was the dedication that had to go into it of like really wanting to do it. But yeah. And so he told me it was either this girl or me, and it just depends on, all this stuff, because she was also working too. So it was just like, and our like art skill was about the same too. I just remember I was just like, I'm gonna fight her when I get out of here. But I'm never gonna do something like that. But I was just like, man, I really want to do this, and I can't believe it's coming down to this. And eventually, she stopped showing up, and I guess she got I guess eliminated.
Just
A
life.
lot of it's just kind of like mental too. Like I said, like you kind of
Yeah.
you give up before it's like right there.
Yeah, I don't think she still does tattoos now. Actually, she's
Okay.
a apprentice or something for Amanda. Actually,
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
But I'm glad she keeps doing that. But yeah, I think it just came down to like, yes, these people and so can only stay. And so yeah, it was me, this other girl, and Pablo. And then eventually, like when we started tattooing, me and Pablo were on the stronger ends of like tattoo. So he ended up having to, release another person. And eventually he was
made
like,
him-
I can
yeah,
keep
pick-
both of y'all.
Right. That's
But what were you
dope.
saying?
And I said you made him have to pick you.
Right. I was just like, bro, like, I'm going to be your person.
So I remember meeting you for the first time in 2019. Were you an apprentice then, or were you in the lineup for it?
Yeah, I was an apprentice. I was an apprentice for like a year.
I met you at Villanart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was still an apprentice working for
Y'all pretty much
Tino
kind of
at that-
apprentice around the same.
Yeah,
time
we
frame.
started at the same time.
Yeah.
During 2019,
Should we
2020?
should we bring
Yeah.
up the story?
What's the story?
The story when Tino compared.
Oh nah, you're an asshole, bro. Theo so Tino yelled at me because of Theo. No, that's your story.
So funny story. So this is
Wait,
all right.
you
While y'all was
you yelled at him?
no.
Tino laughed.
yelled at me.
So this-
I was minding my
Tino
business.
remember this when he listens, but
Well, it was me, Jose.
yeah. So this is back when Jose still worked here, but Tino had already had like Green Vibe Bar, I think.
Right.
So he was apprentice to you, and I was apprentice in Bryson, and Tino was just here for I don't know what
He's
he was
chilling.
Yeah,
He was just
chilling.
vibing. He had a little. I think he had a son with him or
Yeah,
something.
yeah. And so it was late night. We was chopping it up, and then we just started talking about like apprenticeships. And so I don't know how it got to that, but
I know how it got.
but anyways, so it got to the point where like me and Tino like we're both Aries, man. We're both like headstrong. So we both
Zodiacs.
yeah,
Bringing the Zodiacs into
Zodiac
it.
into it. Right? So we both
Tino and Theo are competitive.
yeah, we're competitive, man.
It's a good thing to be competitive,
right.
I feel.
So it got to a point where we started like comparing apprentices, and so Tino was like, "I bet you like Mindy can out tattoo Bryson, right?" And it was like, and then Bryson is here by the way too.
You know what's many? I was tattooing a million.
Oh,
Minding my business. It's just like you said. I'm just happy to be here.
right.
He was like, but at that time, like I said, one thing I always did know is like you were like I said, you took the technical side really fast, like the tattooing. So, Tino was proud. He's proud of that, and he should be. So, but he's bragging on you.
He got hurt by when Jose said.
Yeah,
Because Jose was like, "Yeah, I feel like Bryson's more versatile." I'm over here just sitting back.
Oh, I know.
you see
Because we
this.
were debating about I think coils and rotaries. Because I
Yeah.
think at the time
Oh,
he was
yeah.
only teaching rotaries,
Right.
And we were like, we're gonna start on coils and then give him rotaries. So he's like, nah, like it's faster, just go straight to rotaries. So we were just having a debate on that.
Right.
But yeah, it's a funny story how like that happened.
Okay,
But
yeah, that is.
to just see like both of y'all like careers is booming and thriving. Is cool.
Yeah, I mean, it's
so.
hard not to compare, yourself and other people, or, especially if you're teaching somebody
Right.
and you see somebody else teaching a different way and you see how, their art is and the skill level is. But
How
like
do you deal with like as a tattoo artist, like just not getting in your head about comparing yourself to other people's work and stuff like that?
I used to get onto it a lot because of like how my apprenticeship was. After everything, it was just me and Pablo and Tino. And I would see Tino's tattoos and I would see Pablo's tattoo. And I was like, how am I about to get like
But this is crazy because it's like I always felt like obviously like Tino's Tino. Then yeah, Pablo he took to it really fast too. But I also felt like you took to it really fast too.
Yeah, it's like when
so-
you're working with that, I guess, like as your competition of like if you're gonna make money, you know what I mean? And
You were just like, I refuse to be at the bottom of the
yeah,
barrel.
like,
So, like,
it's a very hard.
Do you feel like some of that's just innate talent, or do you feel like you did something that help you like pick up tattooing on the technical side faster than others?
I think it is. It does come down to like talent and skill and dedication of like how bad you want it and how clean you want your tattoo to look and stuff like that. Like I've always been like I need it to look smooth, and
Right.
they always praise me about my smoothness because it's a really hard thing, I guess.
You won like your first award like your second year, right?
Oh yeah,
first
I
year,
think
was it?
so. Yeah, I think it was my second year.
Yeah, I remember that. And that's I didn't win my first award
Right.
till like
Exactly.
I don't even know, like 5 years. 6
But
years?
that's
Yeah,
normal.
yeah.
That's so normal. I think
But
with
so-
our route, it was
Right.
so different, and I didn't know what was normal. I was just like,
But
"Ooh,
no,
got
that's-
this little award.
So like if someone's watching now and they're like, damn, I want to be like Mindy, like how did she pick it up like that so fast? Like what would be like the one thing you tell them to do? Like
I always tell them it's like you really got to have your pride in your work. This is about to be on somebody's skin forever, and like, yes, you can run this tat real quick and be out of here today, or you can take your time on it. And like, of course, everyone wants that tattoo done today, but when they see how good that piece is, they understand why it took so long versus they see other people's tattoos. And I tell them like it's pride of your work, and take your time. Like, yes, I can try to finish something super quick and just like not really care about it, but because I care about it, I put like a lot, like I pour my whole heart into it. And I feel like that's what people got to do, rather than a lot of the days like people just do it for the money,
Right.
And I don't do it for the money sometimes. Like, I guess I always knew this was my passion, and I just didn't know how like technical and crazy it could get.
right.
But yeah, I just say like,
So
just really care about your work,
No, that's real. Do you feel like sometimes you're working past like, or how do you say, you're underpricing yourself because
Yes.
you're working so long on a piece?
Yes, if you want to know the real of it, I do 150 an hour, and everybody is always like, "What? That's crazy."
I mean that's reasonable.
That's actually-
Yeah.
Right, that's
actually
reasonable,
reasonable
but
for
I,
Georgia price.
right, but I guess they see the
But, like,
work.
I mean, that's a great point that you brought up. Is like the fact that we view 150 an hour as like, that's not even work.
Right.
You know, that's it, like back then, at least back when I first started, like 100 an hour was like the average, like
Yeah.
to start. And like, and if you were good, you got 150 an hour.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So I feel like we kind of strayed away so much. Like I'm like, oh, you need to be 200, 250 an hour, all this.
Because you see you compare yourself and you see other people who are charging a fucking arm and leg for a tattoo and they're doing it, so why can't I, you know? But
Right.
it's like,
And there's so many different factors that go into like
Some
where
of
they
them
at,
Exactly.
how
yeah.
long they've been doing it,
Right.
like what they're doing, like
Then the speed. You
how many
tattoo
people
as
can
well,
do
right?
that?
right.
Yeah,
And
it's
the
not a lot.
quality.
But yeah, but go to finish your original point though. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, what was the question again?
It was about
how you was charging hourly.
yeah. You told us you charge
taking
150
your
an
time,
hour,
putting your
taking
heart
time.
in.
Oh yeah, and so like there's times that like it'll take me so long to do a piece and I stick with either 150 an hour or sometimes I'm like, hey, this took a lot longer and I'll just take off this, you know what I mean? Or there's pieces that I really like, I know it's going to take me a really long time and I don't want to be rushed by that budget, you know, because
Right.
as a person who's getting tattooed, you know, by hour 8, you're like, damn, how much is this going to be?
Right.
And so I don't want them to worry about that sometimes. I just want them to
Right.
just sit there and let me do this. And
No, I definitely feel it. There's definitely times like you said, like even though like if whether you do hourly or like a price by session, like you know, like hey, like in your head, I really want to like kill this piece,
right.
so like I might underprice myself just a little bit just so I can take my extra time and
Right.
like do as much as I need to on it. But I mean, like I said, if you really got passion for tattooing, you're gonna do that because you want to see like the best
Exactly.
possible work, the best possible outcome for sure.
And like get more tattoos rolling in like that so then you
Right.
can charge that piece.
Yeah.
Right.
I think sometimes with the people like our apprentices today, they see me and they're like, oh yeah, like Mindy can do it quick. Mindy can do it, you know, at this hour. And I'm like, y'all don't even know. Like this is so expensive and
Right.
the tattooing is so expensive. Sometimes they think I got money because I got like supplies. And I'm like, yeah, like I dropped all that money for this shit.
Right.
Gotta spend money to make money.
Yeah.
Right.
Nah, and these spots are getting expensive now. That's all.
Oh, but that's funny that y'all was shooting bullets about the apprenticeship thing. But I get it because people are really against how Tino was going to.
Yeah. It's
Especially group wise, like doing group apprenticeship type shit. People were like, "Are you a tattoo academy now?" You know, I get that.
I kind of like my personal opinion.
I
'Cause
feel like
was just like,
You were a single apprentice, like
Yeah.
just you.
well,
how Theo does it.
yeah, like the most I've done is 2 at a time,
Mm-hmm.
but then it ends up being just one person anyway.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, yeah, it start off as multiple people.
Yeah.
Right.
They just don't make it.
Yeah,
Right.
because I always know like not every like you got like a 1 out of 4 like success rate with apprentice.
Even when I was apprentice, I keep forgetting the other
Bro,
couple
yeah,
of apprentices.
yeah. It was a girl that was with you, and she kind of fell out.
It's like she's still here.
Right, but
Right.
I mean, it's one of those like, it depends on who's doing the group apprenticeship type thing. Like Tino, it works for him because I know like
How he does it.
how he does it. His character, like he's not trying to just like run a apprentice mill type thing. Like
Tattoos.
yeah, he's like if you make it with Tino, you're gonna be a good artist.
Yeah.
Like there's no way you can be. But like there's artists out there who like legit just run like tattoo apprentice schools and like send them out after 6 months and like don't teach
2
them
weeks,
shit, you know?
1 month.
Right.
Shit, they got a more in depth look at it now because hell, you just mentioned it. It's like, nah, it ain't as easy as what it looks. It's like you got to juggle.
Right.
All right, don't come back the next
No, no.
day.
I
Next
remember he was
person,
reading
Yeah.
that book
Oh, you
while he
ain't
was
do that?
working here. I
Come
was like,
back
what
the
you
next
reading?
day.
He's like,
No,
I'm gonna
yeah.
teach people how to jug. I was
He
like,
had y'all in those assignments, everything. Like, no, that's so like respect
I
Tino,
promise
man.
you,
The
none of them
process
tattoo
works.
schools are doing that.
Right.
Yeah.
yeah, he had us what? He even had Instagram voting. Like, all right,
I know.
Airbnb.
It's so funny.
My thing is Tino's like, I don't see how he just had the patience to manage all that continuously. So
I know.
it's a lot. Like just the apprentice one person takes a lot of you as a mentor. People don't realize because like if you're still tattooing, you're focused on your career, you know.
Yep.
So it's like now I gotta like try to bring up another person too.
Right.
So then if you multiply that by like 8, nah, that's crazy. So
Yeah, I know. That's
But,
I don't know how he does it.
Was y'all first machine an injector or what kind of machine?
Yeah.
they gave
So
y'all?
basically, like he had us after doing iPad, learning the iPad a little bit. We did fake skins, and it was just like fake skins on Amazon, the thicker one, not those little flimsy ones.
Yeah.
And then COVID happened, and
Yeah.
he was Tino's like main machine wasn't an Injecta as at the time, and he was like praising it and telling us to get it.
Man, that
Oh,
machine
yeah,
is
he
crazy,
loved-
man.
He had been praising the injector
Yeah.
for years.
Yeah,
Injected, it's cool, but
I
it's
like
just
it.
too much though, man.
I
It
still
was just too
have it.
expensive for my pockets when I first.
I just don't like
I didn't
all
know
the
how much.
switching the
Well,
bars.
I did, but like I guess like my very first machine was a little coil set that came with a bunch of stuff,
Right.
and it was like at max 200, 300 for two little machines, and so I was like, okay. And then when he was introducing the world of rotaries, I was like, oh, okay, this is different. And he told me it was like $600, and I was like, damn.
Back then, that's
Right.
like. crazy.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, so like COVID hit right when we were supposed to go on fake skins. And Georgia only shut down for like maybe a month.
2 weeks.
2 weeks, yeah. So
Like 2 weeks. Like,
yeah.
for-
And we were just like, what are we gonna do, Tino? And he was just like, just keep tattooing, like just keep coming back.
Yeah.
And so after like 2 weeks or so, when everybody was like really scared and stuff, we just like came back with a mask, and he let us borrow his machines to do fake skins. And yeah, eventually like the first stimulus check hit, and I bought all of my stuff. Like I bought a machine, I bought a power supply.
Okay, that was good timing.
Yeah, I just like, when am I ever gonna get this much money? And I need to start up my career,
Right.
So I like dropped basically my whole stimulus check on this machine.
Right.
Yeah,
I
and
remember I maxed out like 2 credit cards to get like my first like round of supplies and
right,
everything.
exactly. They're so expensive. And yeah, my first machine, I still have it. It's an Injecta. I don't use it.
No, that's good. You gotta hold on to that.
Yeah, it's precious to me.
Oh,
It
yeah.
holds memories. I did a lot of tattoos with it too. And
dope.
yeah, after we did, Pablo came back and he had a fake skin ready, and he did Biggie, a portrait of Biggie. And it was so good. And he was just like, all right, Mindy, if Pablo can do that, you can do that. And I was like, whoa, I thought I was going to be doing little hearts,
Right.
like
So I
little
see
names.
Where all the comparison was, all that was
Right.
better in your apprenticeship. So it's like once you got out of it, it was probably hard to get out of that mode. Mm-hmm. So you just said your first machine was an Injecta,
Oh, yeah.
but now I know that you've been kind of blessed into the world of coils now. Like you got an interest and you picked that up. Shout out to Jose. He one of the coil masters out here. Always kept our machines tuned right when he was here with us.
Just 6 months.
But
A month ago.
right. So like as like a newer generation tattooer who started rotaries, like what made you want to learn coils?
Right. I guess like because I know the original traditional way was coils, that I wanted to, learn it a little bit more. And I see how Demente does the tattoos and how amazing they turn out. So I was like, man, there's got to be some sort of correlations maybe. And I see like, Christian does it too. And he's always said like, you need to do lining with coils.
Yeah.
And we did it with, rotaries. We lined with Injectas. And that is incredibly hard, and it does not heal the best. But yeah, there's like a beauty in all those type of machines. And yeah, the more that I see coils and how some other people use it as well, I really like it, like I want to learn more about it and see. I think there's more like technicality of these different coil machines rather than like a manufactured rotary machine that all hits the same.
Exactly, yeah. Each one's kind of tuned specifically for a certain task.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly. And you can find, it just sucks that they're expensive still, and you got to find the one that fits you the best. But yeah, I think like
So do you feel like all tattooers should learn how to use a coil?
I guess like my old traditional way, I just feel like if you don't really know how to use a coil, you're not a real tattoo artist. But I don't know if
Damn.
that's,
I mean,
So if you was to have an apprentice, would you make them?
yes.
Okay.
I personally
dope.
would.
Good.
Yeah.
I personally feel the same too. Like,
Yes, I personally would make them start out and understand how hard this shit really was, and then give them a rotary and see what they could do with it. But I do think it's like, it's easy for anybody to pick up some little pen and start dragging it on some skin,
Yeah.
Yeah.
My what? First 7 months was straight coil.
Nice.
Yeah, no, to this day, I said we love outlining with coils, and it's like you said, it's a lot of things like
Chorus too.
yeah. I was wireless for a minute, but they done brought me back to the court game.
Yeah, man. Welcome back, bro.
Hey, man.
Just in case any of these battery manufacturers watching, y'all need to fix this shit.
Yeah. y'all slacking, man. These batteries dying out in like 30, 40
I don't
minutes
use
now.
I don't use batteries at all anymore.
They was okay at first, but now they just like
Yeah.
ass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Those
yeah,
are, man.
that's dope. I definitely, like you said, no shade to like rotary only artists who don't know use coils. Like, yeah, you could do great tattoos still. But it's just like you said, it's something about just being a tattooer. It feels right to,
Right.
to use a coil and know how to use it. Like, you don't have to use it for every tattoo, but you should at least have one coil machine in your collection and
Right.
just know
I'll
how to
say
keep it in
two,
tune.
just for the
Yeah,
aesthetic.
have a liner and a
and a
shader.
shader.
Yeah. It's
It's
just
aesthetic.
I agree.
bad, man.
Despite the controversy, or at least a Dan Cuban.
Yeah.
Right. Nah, I mean,
sure.
shout out to Dan Cuban.
Oh,
I'm 50-50
yeah.
with that one. I'm in the middle.
I respect it. I mean,
Look at it like a coil.
No, some people don't want to buy it because
It's a rotary.
because of him.
that's the other topic for another day. But,
I didn't know that.
yeah,
If y'all want to talk about it, vote about it.
Boy.
you know that ain't never gonna happen.
but so year 5, if you tattooing, I think a lot of people will say like, what, the 5th year is kind of like an important year for your tattoo career, right? It's kind of like a major turning point, is whether like what direction you're gonna go in.
Veteran once told me in California, you can't suck no more. Like,
Yeah, that's a good way to look at it. Like
yeah.
year 5, you should
Make a
kind of know what you're
mistake.
doing at that point.
Yeah.
It's like,
So
But it still feels like I don't know what I'm doing. It's brand new.
that's good. You should feel both ways. Like you should feel like you don't know what you're doing, but at the same time, you do know what
Right.
you're
That's
doing.
why you'll see me post every once in a while, like, "Oh my god, y'all! I just figured it out." Like,
Right. Nah, it's good.
that's
That's
how
a
it
great
really
feeling.
feels.
Yeah. When you get that new trick or a new tip, it's like,
I feel
oh,
about
yeah.
that.
Like it's more like the opposite. You know what not to do.
How long?
Right,
have you
right,
been
that's
doing?
Shit, about to be 10 years next year.
Nice.
Oh,
Super
shit.
nice. I think
You
that's a
OG, bro?
milestone too.
Yeah.
be an OG.
Christian too. It'll be 10 years
Oh.
next
Don't
year.
throw Christian in the
Yeah, no,
jeez,
no,
man.
Christian,
Like
Christian the
30.
OG now. Yeah.
Earth.
30-year-old Christian.
Shout out to Christian 30.
29.
Yeah, it's the limits.
30.
But yeah. So like, what's like your goal to like, what do you want your career to like take place now from going forward?
I would say, I guess like style wise more. I feel like I'm still trying to figure out my style.
So, yeah, like what? Let's talk about that. Like, what do you kind of lean in now? Because you're a versatile artist.
Yeah.
Like, but where do you see yourself kind of going or want to do?
I would like to do like pieces of stuff that I draw, but I obviously need to draw way more than that to be able to put those
understand.
pieces out.
That's the hard part too, right there.
Yeah.
To talk about once you become a tattoo artist, it's like you don't get to draw for yourself as much
Yeah,
anymore.
like barely, honestly, because you're either drawing for somebody else or, a specific tattoo you have lined up, or you're just doing your own stuff on the days that you're off.
Right.
But style wise, I would like to see like where I can go with it, learn more about design,
Okay.
and have like a specific, say if I do black and gray realism, because I don't see myself stopping that, to at least have like
That's a money maker, man. Don't stop. that.
right, right, and that. But I would like to like draw more pieces and like have people do that type of stuff. But I don't really know. Like when I do draw, it's more like almost like new school where it's like a little different, a little crazy. But I also like old school traditional too. Like something about traditional tat,
Right. No, it's fun to knock out a traditional tattoo and like that nice bold line, same line weight.
Right.
You're
not there all day because black and
Yeah.
gray is like you're never gonna finish.
And then, would you ever dabble in like more? I know you kind of mess with it now, but like color realism stuff like that.
I would like to. I do really like color pieces, but in the middle of me doing a color tattoo, it takes so long, and I'm like, ugh, I want to give up.
Oh yeah, like that back piece you working on, that one lady, a bunch of flowers.
Yes.
Yeah, that looks really good.
Thank you. I
I
appreciate
like the balloon one. You had a balloon one I liked really a lot.
Yeah, it's all in just like learning and getting the chance to be able to do it. I feel like if I got more chances to do like a big piece, I would try to go more crazy, more intricate with it. But even then, doing all these individual flowers, each one of them at least took me 5, 6, 7 hours.
Do you prefer like more large scale projects, or do you like kind of more small to medium size?
I have a battle between that too, because though I love a large scale one, because that's obviously where you can get the money, and when people dedicate that much of an arm to you, or leg, body part, it's just like that's awesome, like
right.
that you really like my stuff and trust me that much to do a piece that big. But then like the shorter sessions feel so much better on like your
Yeah,
body,
nah.
your hand, your life.
And I see you break stuff, your largest pieces into sessions too.
Oh yeah, I
Like,
always do sessions. I just
Mhm.
take so long that you just have to do sessions with me.
Mhm.
I've gotten a lot faster, um, but it still takes me a minute.
So how do your clients are pretty much cool? Like how do you like explain to them that like, hey, like I like to take my time, so it's gonna take maybe more sessions than an average artist. Like, do you get a kind of pushback on that, or you feel like they kind of understand at this point?
I think it's 50-50. Some people don't obviously have the budget and the time to do that, and some people understand because it's a permanent piece on them.
Right.
That I typically like tell people a full day session could take anywhere from like 5 hours to 8 hours basically, and it could be basically this much, and this could take me 2 to 3 sessions of 5 to 8 hours, and they'd be surprised. Sometimes they're shorter, sometimes they're longer, and yeah, they just like, gotta understand when I tell them like an estimate like that.
Right.
Yeah.
I got you. But for the most part, like the people who understand are like the people you want, So I
Right,
got
for
you.
sure.
Okay.
And then the people who are like, "Oh no, that's way too long," I'll be like, "Okay, like that's okay."
So how do
Get the
you
tattoo
balance
you deserve,
your
right?
project tattoos like during like your whole career? Because I know you bump out some good pieces that you just say, "Here you go" on Instagram. I'm like, oh, I didn't even know she was working on that.
Yeah, I try to post more when I can, but sometimes I forget.
Okay.
And yeah, I've just had the luxury, I guess, and privilege that people are willing to, give a piece of me and be able to like do something. Like all the dragons that I've done so far, I wouldn't say all of them, but the bigger ones,
The blue one.
yeah, like something like that. I drew those out for them
Okay.
personally, and I appreciate when someone gives me something like that, and something like that. I just told them like it's gonna take some sessions because the lines itself probably took one full day and for a really long day, and they just keep coming back from it. And some people drive from out of state to get that. Like that kid is all the way from Florida, and
That's dope.
yeah, to drive
Definitely
all
put
the
on
way
some
from Florida
sunscreen
is
then, buddy.
crazy.
Right.
Yeah, but yeah, and I just knock them out pieces by pieces, and I try to post it when I can, of like project wise. And then I have another dragon that's on my stepdad, and he understands too. It takes sessions, and he just lets me do however many hours I can.
You got his first tattoo from you, or
Yeah.
That's dope. Shout out to the family.
Oh yeah.
All right, so I'm gonna stir the pot a little bit, a little debate, just fun debate. But I know at your guys' shop, y'all kind of have like a rule, like you guys don't use CPL lenses, and I respect that 100%.
Oh.
Yeah, like so if y'all don't know, CPL lenses used. A lot of tattooers use it for to reduce the glare from a photo, but at the same time, it can be used in a way to abuse like photos and give you kind of like a more unrealistic like outcome of the tattoo. Me personally, I use CPL lenses. I try my best not to abuse it, but I know like at the end, like there's no way to kind of get 100% accurate of real life what's going on. But so why do you guys like have that hard stance against CPL lenses?
Well, personally, over the years, I've changed, but because I was
Okay.
taught by Tino, he's like, "This is the real way." So
Right.
what you're taught is like what you think.
No,
is,
shout out to Tino for like
Yeah.
stealing that.
Yeah, and I respect it big time that he doesn't do any edits and any of this bullshit. Oh, sorry, I don't mean to say
no,
bullshit.
you got
cussing all day on here.
But like, I didn't mean to say like CPL and stuff is bullshit. But just
No,
like,
I get
yeah, like
it's
all
a
this-
certain level. Yeah, like it's one thing to just like slap a CPL lens on, take a picture, and post
Right.
it. Then there's artists out there who
throw it on
Edit.
yeah,
Photoshop.
right, and go
yeah.
like the whole
It's a
extra.
full on edit.
Right,
yeah,
right.
it's a full on edit.
I keep
And-
my blemishes and all that stuff.
Right. To me, yeah, I guess like I've always just learned like to try to do it off the iPhone. I'm really not against it, especially like a CPL lens. I do think it does help with the glare and making the tattoo better, but as long as they're not editing it, I think it's straight.
Yeah.
Like,
Right,
Yeah.
right.
yeah, but why it's such a hard thing over there? I guess because like we when rotaries were coming out, we were seeing a lot of people who would edit it, and whether it's
Yeah,
edited
was
to
going
make
crazy.
it look like an aesthetic,
Mm-hmm.
it's a false, like the
Yeah.
tattoo don't really look like
Yeah.
that. And some people will edit it so much to where there's no redness, and people think,
Right.
Yo,
yeah.
man.
And some clients when they see
Right.
when I'm tattooing them and they're like, "Oh, is that blood?" I'm like, "Yeah, like
Yeah.
You're supposed to lean.
yeah,
on
like this
tattoo.
is
Like, I
inside
stabbed
of
you.
you."
Cutting you.
I stabbed you for like 7 hours.
Right, but they don't see that real side on Instagram, whatever, because they just see super clear white, photos that are super high contrast and has no glare.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Nah.
but that's really the only reason why is because there's
So do y'all have a certain section in y'all
we do
studio?
not. we
How do you kind of time it? Like,
So it just depends for me because it depends on what I'm taking a photo of. When it is a fresh tattoo, sometimes I just tell them come in my station to where like the light isn't, because we have these bright lights too on the top, and you can't just turn it off and be like, wait y'all, I'm gonna take a photo. So I just be telling them to come in my station.
you'll say, I'll turn it off.
Oh,
And
what
I get
happened?
it though.
I
Yeah,
got that light.
yeah, I get it though. And I just take it to where I feel like there isn't a lot of glare.
Okay.
And sometimes we take it just where like we have these closing doors and it's like less glare there too, and that's where we take our pictures.
Okay.
Now I know some of y'all. I think Pablo takes his outside a lot.
Yes. So basically, when we go back outside, the building's white, and sometimes when like the sun sets and it's not like super super bright outside, and you see it against that wall, it looks really nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we do
Yeah.
outside too. It just depends, but most of our tattoos are not done during the daytime.
Yeah.
So it's hard to catch outside.
Okay.
Okay. No, I respect that. 100%. Yeah, because I don't know, like said, if you're abusing like
Oh,
your
yeah.
photos
Yeah.
and editing and stuff, like stop that shit, man. It's not.
I
It's
feel
not
like
cool.
the CPL lenses is a lot worse on like the phones though versus like the cameras since we,
Yeah.
at least in my opinion, since
Yeah.
we've been using the cameras, it ain't been like the CPL lens help, but it's not like really changing much of the photo.
Yeah, it doesn't like. I think the main thing with the cameras, like especially iPhones, like it changes the skin tone of the
Yeah.
person too much. Like,
Yeah.
But with like the cameras are here, because whether you know it or not, these have CPL lenses
Right.
on them, but it doesn't do that. You still get the redness. It just quite literally
Yeah.
only takes away the glare.
The glare, yeah, and that's what I've learned about it too. That's why I say I'm not really against it. Because like just because I don't own it on my camera and stuff like
think
that.
you ever convinced Tino? Use CVL lens?
He's learning actually.
What?
Like even though he is a very traditional mindset, he's learning
Okay. Shout out
to
to
like
Tino.
do different ways, and he's actually invested in a camera as well. And I'm sure you all see.
Yeah, I
him
see he's
post.
working on the seminar
Yeah,
stuff.
and
That's
it's like
dope.
super nice camera. I don't know about the CPL lens. I think he'll get there, but he at least knew to invest in a really good camera and invest in a good lens.
That's
Because
good,
sometimes,
yeah. No.
some people would try to get like a cheaper way out.
Yeah.
Not cheaper way,
Nah,
but
the
just,
lens is just as important as the camera.
Right,
A lot of people
exactly.
don't realize that.
yeah.
Yeah, we've all pretty much, like me, Tess, Christian, all use, and Julius too, all use cameras now. Trying to get Bryson on that wave.
What do you
He
need?
got cameras though.
An iPhone?
He does, yeah.
I got like.
Why don't you just bring it to the shop?
Just lazy, bro.
You just take
Yeah.
it on your phone?
Yeah.
Same.
But nah, definitely that's like for any artist out there, like if you got the money to invest, like
Plus, I probably buy
Like-
another camera.
yeah, you can get you
Yeah,
Spurs.
I
On
did
Sony
think
though.
so.
Don't you have a Sony?
Yeah, but
Man, I'm Team Canon, man. I love Canon cameras.
I swear your Sony is like the same model as mine.
what? 5800.
Oh, okay. Well, mine's a generation after then.
Yeah,
Nah, that thing's like I got that in 2016,
yeah. You probably don't have
27.
like 4K recording
Matter
on
of
yours.
2018.
Yeah, you got it for a minute.
Do the videos here.
But yeah,
But
definitely
lens.
get that camera. So, all right, there's a question I wanted to ask you too. Now that you're a part shop owner, and how has things changed? Like, how do you view tattooing now as an owner, as opposed just to being just a tattoo artist?
Well, there's a lot more responsibilities.
Right.
Of just being a tattoo artist that comes in, does their stuff, gets out, There's more like responsibility of like pride in the shop of, this is what you put out in the world, this is what people know you as. And yeah, I take a lot of pride into it, and I just make sure like everything's really, really good. And you just feel like you have less time, like
Right.
of the day, basically, because of all the other things you got to handle.
Okay.
But I mean, I personally like it because I have the privilege to tell people what to do.
So how do you like managing other artists as far as like making sure everybody's in harmony and working
Sometimes
together?
it's a headache because we have a lot of people. But
I
for
have 8.
I would say for the main full-time artists, it's me, Pablo Demente, and Tino.
Okay.
And then we also have I call them part-time artists, but they are at the shop a lot.
Okay.
But they also just either have like a second job or something like that. But we have Chris, Steven, Jessica, Taj,
wow.
Alan, the main ones. So that's
Damn,
like
okay.
yeah, that's that much. And then we have like a few more apprentices
dang.
slash
So it's like 10,
Yeah.
12 people.
yeah, basically, but they're not always there all the time.
Yeah.
Like the part-time artists, they kind of like share a booth
Yeah.
because like they'll be there maybe 2 to 3 days out the week.
Okay. Y'all kind of got a schedule rotation system.
Basically,
Alright,
yeah,
that's
for
smart.
when people come in.
Makes sense.
And I mean, so taking care of them wise, like you just got to make sure like when they do bad tats, tell them, but because
Right.
there's so many of them, you just have to like try to
How is that now? Like being the person to have to tell like, yeah, I need you to do better, or this is where we could have changed.
Right. I never used to do that because I would just leave it to Tino because originally I felt like it was like Tino and his apprentices because these are the people he calls in and teaches. Because I feel like I don't really teach them like that. They do learn from me and they ask from me and such, but I don't really like sit down with them
right.
and
You're
tell
not-
them to do this.
Right, you're not like their mentor. You're just like-
Right. I would say it's mainly Tino. So Tino would tell them like, hey, you should have done this, or this is bad, or this is good, But now like we kind of share the role of it, and I mean, we just tell them. Some of them take it a little bit more personal. Some of them
Yeah.
don't, But for the most part, they know it's for a good reason that we're telling you.
Right.
And yeah, we just tell them like, don't take it to heart that much. Just know like, just use this information and try to do a little bit better.
Right.
Yeah.
No, you got to. You got to. If you want your team to be, successful and on the same page, you got to say the hard stuff sometimes.
Right. And I mean, they think it's so easy for us, but I'm like, it's hard. Like we're just, still doing it too. You just gotta
Maybe
take your
they'll
time.
tell them to go listen to this interview and then
Yeah.
see about your apprenticeship process. Like, damn, and like
Yeah.
I didn't even have to joke. But like, that's crazy.
Right. Right.
That's what I heard. 3 years in my career? The nervousness never go away. Like it never leave.
I mean, when you say nervousness, what do you mean? Like
Like when you working on a tattoo that's kind of like outside your comfort zone. and
I mean,
stuff.
yeah, outside your comfort zone, yeah, but if it's in your comfort zone, then
Yeah.
like,
You're like ready to
nah,
go.
yeah, it's because it's like, yeah, all right,
But see,
you already
some
know
people
this
are only in their comfort zone, and
Yeah,
Right.
I'm always
right.
make me out my every goddamn
Right.
cover up.
stuff. Wow, that's good. So you like to work outside your comfort zone a lot?
Yeah, I think that's why I also do coils. I just be like, let me make it hard. Like,
Oh man, I
let me
mean,
see what I can do.
that's how you grow as an artist, though. Like, so and I see it in your work. So
Yeah, that's why I say
kudos.
being competitive is good because I like a little challenge. I like to see what you can create, with said stuff. Just like how painting is, every different paint brand is different. Just because it's acrylic, and so you can try and see what works with you.
Right.
Yeah.
No, 100%. I'd like to get your opinion on this. Then, so what do you feel like? Are you nervous or I guess worried about where the tattoo industry is going? Because there's a lot going on, right? Like, of course, economy is crazy. I mean, let's call it for it. It's like tattooing is a bit oversaturated with artists, but at the same time, like you can still thrive, but it's murky for some people as well too. Then you got AI and that whole
Yeah.
discussion. So it's like, what do you?
That's a good question.
Yeah,
How
yeah.
do you, like, if you get a client, and especially since there is a bunch of AI images out there, how do you tell your client that, I get where you're trying to go, but this tattoo that you want is AI and it's not going to look nothing like this?
Right.
And, like, actually trying to convince them. Because I know I done came across a couple of them. It's like, all right, so this tattoo right here, this one's real. But this one right here, this is not. How can you tell this not real? So then you got to go down this whole little spiel. How do you deal with that?
I guess I haven't gone through a lot of those pieces like that.
Just wait.
They'll
It's
send me
coming.
something that looks AI, but I just tell them, well, I'm gonna use that as a reference and base it off of like my own creation. Sorry.
No, you good.
my own creation of the design, and they'll be like, okay, cool, and that's really it.
But yeah, nah,
Simple.
those AI generated tattoos like taking over Pinterest now is just insane because it's like I said, it's like so unrealistic and super high detail, packed with white, like then
Right.
no irritation in the skin, and
Right.
and it's hard to explain to people like this isn't real because like
Well,
they don't know.
This is a lady that hit me up
Oh,
yesterday.
this is AI.
Well, the second one is so. This one's AI.
Okay, yes, I can tell.
Now this one, you probably follow this artist too. He's like in Texas or somewhere. So I was telling her like, all right, you see how this flower right here is? Like you see it's like some parts are like real solid, and then you got the galaxy part. It's like yeah, you could do that. But she was thinking, and she's a dark skinned lady, was thinking she could get something like this. It's like I see where you going, but I had a whole like 30-minute discussion. It's like okay, that's not gonna look like that tattoo.
Make sure you got the mic.
Right.
No, you
Excuse
good.
me, sorry.
Nah, we all been you good.
Yeah, with that,
See, I used to look at that like a person editing their tattoos in Photoshop. So when I look at AI, it's like just something new, like a new tool. That was
No, I guess I'm more just like, how are you, especially when they're like gun ho about it. You have them clients like, oh, I want this image exactly. Like,
Yeah,
now you're trying to like
I
tell
just
this person that really believes this tattoo is real.
I just tell them like to make it look like a good tattoo and to make it heal like a good tattoo, it's not going to 100% look like that. And you can try to get it to look as best as you can to that, but I just tell them like all this, and sometimes someone will get an image and think it's going to look exactly like this photo or something, but it's like really it's not going to heal good as a tattoo or something like that. And you just got to tell them straight.
yep.
But with your question of like, where do I think it's headed? Kind of rough. Because like you said, it is very saturated with a bunch of different artists. My shop alone got a lot of artists. And I see like not everybody, like some people are okay with tattooing full time and not everybody is
Right.
because of how
Right.
it is.
I feel like it's gonna be a lot more part timers in the future.
Right.
Right.
That's
And
how I
I
look
think
at
it's
it.
going to weave out a lot of people though who
It really is. Like,
yeah. Who think
Yeah.
because it's like almost like COVID babies. I feel like a lot of tattoo artists started during COVID, and they think they can tattoo.
wait, didn't we
because
start during COVID?
I basically I
Yeah,
took
we
it.
did. COVID, baby. I never thought of that.
Basically,
I'll
when
start saying
COVID
that.
hit your
I'm COVID,
apprenticeship.
Yeah, nah, it's real.
Yeah.
So
And I
bad.
mean, I say that as a blessing too because I had the luxury to have all that time in the world to learn this. Versus
World was
some-
in there. And we was like, I want to be a tattoo.
Right.
Yeah. And I mean, I just pray. I just hope it gets better, of like weaving out the people who are taking money.
So do you think that's like the best route, like survival of the fittest, like the artists who the best way to get the industry back to where it needs to be is to get rid of the artists who can't make it?
Yeah.
Well, the thing is, also we can't look at their highlights too, how they post on it. Like a great example, private studios, like they're just working on Pinterest designs and stuff like that. Shoot, their rent, they might be breaking even every week versus actually making a profit.
Right.
So
Yeah, I mean, well, yeah, it's
so now you
one of
just
those
really
things
just
is like-
doing.
it sucks because how do you feel? There are definitely artists who would say like aren't up to snuff, right? And I don't really care about them, like so. But there are some great artists who are also struggling too, like who
Yeah.
like deserve to be, I would say, tattooers, but for whatever reason, maybe they're in the wrong location, or they just don't promote themselves well or something,
I would say promote. I
So-
give Christian a great example.
Do you
Christian
feel
was
like-
a great
yeah?
example? He didn't
Yeah.
promote himself well. Once he started promoting himself well,
Yeah.
boom, phone be ringing.
But what is promoting yourself well?
Some people just sit down and twiddle their thumb. Most talented artists in the world, and they be like, "Why ain't nobody coming to me?" Sometimes you gotta advertise yourself and go to them.
So what do you feel like? I got some ways, but what do you feel like the best way to
Oh shoot, like we did, pass out flyers sometimes, and like
old school word of mouth?
boots hit the ground. Raise up your advertisement. Don't if you can go out to eat at a restaurant, use that money for that.
Right.
Customer service, word of mouth, but no, definitely promote yourself.
Yeah, I would throw into like I know it's tough because like it's hard like to say spend money that you may not have, but
Yeah.
like if you do have it, like
Go to them events,
put-
tell people you're an
well,
artist or something.
that too. But I'll
Oh,
say
Dutch does that.
put it into like boosting posts. I know we hate boosting posts because Instagram like screwed the algorithm.
Yeah, they did.
They're greedy, but literally like the only way I see like that I get new followers for the most part is from like my boosted posts because like now they tell you like, oh, this person follows you from your ad. You know, I go down the list like maybe the last 100 followers, probably 75 of them have been just from a boosted ad.
I'll give a good example. Like MomoCon, we was passing out flyers over
Yeah.
there. We probably passed out 200 to 300. We got 5 of them.
Yeah.
Those 5 got friends, and based off those 5 people, we probably got 25
Yeah,
Right.
clients to come in.
no,
Yeah.
like I said, word.
But I do
like,
pay attention
yeah,
to the analytics,
definitely like old school, passing out flyers, cards.
and we get
Talking
free
to people.
sandwiches.
You know, giving out deals if you need to. But yeah, you gotta do whatever you gotta do to bring people in your like. I think okay, now that's a good question. Since you're a shop owner too, like, how much is it on the shop to bring clients to their artists, and how much is it on the artist too? Like, do you feel like it's a 50-50 thing, or is it more like what is the shop's responsibility and what's the artist's responsibility? You know what I'm
That
saying?
depends on variables.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
depends on what type of shop you want to
Right.
be, you know. 'Cause
Let's say it's a walk-in shop. Like,
I think it's 100%. Ooh, not maybe 100.
yeah, I won't say anything's 100%.
Yeah.
But-
Maybe not 100, but at least a good 70% on the artist to get your own person, and maybe 30 to get. You can only do so much as a shop to tell people
Right.
to come get tatted, you know, and especially coming from a shop like mine with a lot of people, you can only like get so many people to come in and get so many people to get tatted.
Right. Because it's like, I think what people or artists don't understand if they aren't a shop owner, sometimes it's like there are certain things the shop should do, right? Definitely like promote their artists. I would say like if you don't already have a website and Google listing, like that's like essential in my opinion.
Right.
And then yeah, if the shop owner, hopefully if they're financially successful enough, like they can invest in like doing Google ads, Instagram ads, stuff like that. But and then running some sort of social media. Like I get like it's hard doing all that, like and like tattooing, but like if you're doing it somewhat, then that should help but at the same time, like it only helps to a certain extent because it'll let's say it'll get eyes on your shop, right? But then you can't force clients to choose like, hey, go to Bryson or go to Tez, go to Mindy. Like now they see the shop and they'll look, okay, like I want to go to this artist or I'll go to this artist. And then like it's tough because like that artist might be the most popular artist and then you got an artist who's like not as popular.
Right.
And it's
Capable of doing it.
yeah.
So, if that's the case, the thing that helps us here then is, even Theo will say it, like, he'll say, hey, I think you need to post this so people can know you're capable of doing it. So, my go-to is take a photo of all your tattoos, no matter how small, dainty,
Yeah.
Pinterest, cybersigillism, it is,
Cyber
whatever. But, because how I promote myself is somebody walks in, I show them my page, which is known for color and anime. So I say, this is what I'm known for, but I also take photos of all my walk-ins. And this is anything that comes through the door. And what they see today, Sunday, Saturday, Friday, Thursday, Wednesday, Tuesday. Oh, he's consistent and he's very versatile. So, because it's very hard to prove this artist can do it if you don't have the receipt.
Right.
Because I'm one of those people, they always doubt me a lot, so I have to show them my receipt.
Yeah.
So I already have it ready.
I mean, yeah, that's another thing too. Like sometimes, like whether it's like bias, prejudice, whatever, like you're gonna get doubted. So it's like it sucks, but sometimes you just gotta prove it with your work. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like even though because clients don't understand that like okay, if I could do like a realistic lion, then I should be able to do a realistic tiger. But like they only see a lion on your page, so I didn't see no tiger, so I didn't come to you for a tiger.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like well, I do tigers, I just didn't post it. So now that's what I said. Like, you gotta have that on the tuck. Like, that's why I do a million lion tattoos. Like, and I post every one of them. Yeah, because I want people to constantly remember that I do lion tattoos. Because like, that's another thing. Clients don't scroll. Like, some clients scroll all the way through your portfolio.
Be your top 9.
Yeah, but like most time they only gonna go through like the first like 9, 12 if you're lucky, something like that. So I always try to keep a nice little variety of stuff, just because like people need to remember, like I might do this huge ass like back piece Japanese whatever, but yeah, I'm still down to bust out a line and like let's do it, let's run it a rose whatever.
What I actually do.
I was gonna say, I also say, especially on the Instagram thing, mix it up with the videos and the pictures. 'Cause I don't witness like many a times my clients are like looking at artists' pages and stuff, and if it's a video, like they'll click on it, to see it. But if it's a video, they'll immediately click off.
Oh yeah, I don't like
so
videos
they can
either.
see the picture.
Especially like if it's a video where they like it turns to like I'm gonna put my stencil on, then I'm gonna do this and that.
Just,
and then,
show it.
Yeah, not like
Just show it.
that shit's dead. Like that shit was cool for a second, but not anymore.
I didn't think about this until last year, but I actually thought, oh, that was strategic of me. So when I tattoo somebody, I get their Instagram and I tag them in it. So what that does when they repost it on their page, their audience see it, even if it's like 40 or 50.
That's the new word of mouth now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
So they say, oh, who is this guy?
right.
So that's something I always do. That's why you always see me tag everybody.
So like all of these little things add up, and these are the little things that artists can do. So it's like artists. I feel like some artists just like, oh, if I'm at a shop and I'm giving a percentage to the shop, whatever, like, then they need to be bringing me all these clients. Like, yeah, they should definitely be helping you try to bring clients, but you can't expect the shop to just like provide like like a client for you every day. Like you got to do something too.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I appreciate all the stuff that y'all say too about getting advertisement because, even though I might hear about it, some other people don't know about it. Same thing as clicking the videos. And I've seen that for myself too of like, doing this long ass video or what you think is cool or what you think is the trend of what everybody else is doing is like stencil and this, get yourself in the video. But people just want to see the video for real,
exactly.
And they'll try to either scroll all the way at the end or just like, get off of it.
Right. No, I'm getting off. Like if I click on it and I'm like, nah, I'm not doing all that.
You got about
Even
a good
when
full
it's a
second.
great
Right.
tattoo.
Not even that. Like the moment, like literally, like only way you get me to stay is like I know this artist is like amazing, and I just need to see this tattoo because I need to see what they did. But so like,
Also, I see. I also look on my Instagram. People only look at my videos 7 to 9 seconds.
right.
So I just
Shit, I don't even get that. My algorithm say they look at this shit 3 to 4 seconds.
Right.
It's like,
I believe
let me
it.
just post the pictures and call it a day.
Yeah. But when someone like Victoria Lee starts posting something like that, it's like, damn, I gotta watch all
Right.
this.
It's like, I get it. Like
good
her
info.
setup is immaculate, but it's like, I just want to see the tattoo. of
Yeah.
her. But I'll watch her videos just so I can see the tattoo at the end.
Right.
But like, that's Victoria Lee.
I
How
think
many
that's
artists
more of
tattoo
us.
like that?
That's the peers.
Yeah, we just looking
As
at
a regular person.
Oh yeah.
probably-
Right.
Yeah, just average Joe people. They just I want to see a tattoo. That's it.
Right.
I don't
But-
care about the phone. I don't care about that.
Right. But going back to what you were saying of like how much percentage, I mean, I feel like some of the people at my shop will be like, oh yeah, well Tino told me he would get me a client, and I'm like, listen, never trust, never depend on anybody else to get you a client, like at all. You are on your own. Like, well, you're not 100% on your own. You're blessed to be a part of a great team, but you got to do all that work yourself for real. Like nothing's gonna be given to
Like
you.
ideally, like a team will help feed each other, but it's like when the opportunity presents itself. It's not like every day. Like I got an extra client you can have. Like it's more like, oh, we're all busy. You're not. I got this person who needs something today.
Right.
But I can help you today, but
And
I can help
I-
you tomorrow.
With my apprenticeship, I came from 0 walk-ins
Right.
and 0.
So that taught you how to hustle, like to get the
Yeah, like
clientele.
so. I guess when they tell me stuff like that, I'd be like, "Yeah, go outside and go ask somebody
Right.
to tattoo."
right.
Like at least you have that because we were not able to promote at all
Right.
about us being right there to tattoo. So it's definitely very different with that. And I just think like I try as much as I can to get them clients.
But they got to put the effort in too.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, for sure.
Yeah, and we all do it as a collective team now. Like, we have a little sign and we put it outside, make sure if someone who is available for walk-ins, at least put the sign outside so someone can see it. And we try to do other things here and there too of like trying to post more on the Instagram and stuff like that. But we're still trying to get our foot.
So the question is how new are the artists that are just now starting off?
Well, they all vary in how long they've been doing the apprenticeship.
Okay. So what, 6 months to a year?
Yeah, okay, I guess say for one, like I would say Taj, which is somebody who's on the newer end,
Okay.
maybe a year and a half or two now.
So one thing I can say in the past that you and Pablo did that I actually like, that y'all pretty much tattooed on each other, but y'all definitely pushed it to a portfolio piece when y'all did it. So I guess for anybody new, do y'all tell them, hey, get a, I'd rather for them to have a promotional piece, like a portfolio piece, versus just trying to say, look, I just need to do this banger real quick.
Right. Yes, I always say if you're gonna do a free tat, make it worth it, not
Okay.
just like a little, dainty
Tattooing my
tat.
homie who wants his bullshit. You know what I'm
Right,
saying?
right. Try to get somebody who's worth it. Like I do free tattoos too to show people what
Yeah,
I
I
want to do.
definitely
What
do
I
like
can
3 to
do.
4 times a year, and I'm
Like one
4
piece a
years
lot
in.
of people like from mine is like the Mother Nature.
Okay.
I think a Mother Nature sheet, and that was free.
Yeah.
And it took me like 3 sessions, but it's like something I was able to take my time on and something I wanted to do. And they'd be like, "What? You just worked all that for free?" And I'm like, "Yeah, like I like it personally." Like
I think people need to really hear that. Like,
Mm-hmm.
even in
I mean,
this many years in.
if you like tattooing, why is it like doing a free tattoo like a foreign concept to you?
Let me clarify. Meet your quota. Meet your quota.
right.
I
you're
ain't
gonna
gonna
do
say
that.
this, like me being almost 10 years in, I at least do like minimum like 4 free tattoos a year.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's minimum.
Right, right. Same. I try to get my handful too of just doing free tats. But yeah, I just tell the other people like y'all gotta promote yourself and like you know, do a really good tattoo on somebody. So then, because that's what gets most of my clients is doing a really good tat, and then they're out there, and then they're like, "Oh, I know you from so and so."
Yeah,
I'm like,
that's-
"Yeah, that's awesome."
No, exactly.
Yeah, so that's one of the things. That's another form of advertisement. Because, trust me, y'all used to do the little wheel about the free and stuff like that. Like, what was it? It was like small, third place.
Yeah, well, sorry, going back to what you said about tattooing each other too, it's like, yeah, I actually like the Mac Miller piece I have.
Yeah.
Pablo won a lot of awards off of it.
Yeah.
And for him to be able to show people that he's won a lot of awards off of it brings him so many more clients in, And same for, vice versa. If I get to do all these pieces on all these people.
Yeah, the raccoon, like
Oh,
the
thank
small,
you.
black and gray. Then I think 2 years ago you got something else.
Yeah, I try to enter a piece for the awards every now and then. But that's only if I can have something lined up. Sometimes
True.
clients aren't able to make it,
Yeah.
But it does bring you a lot of stuff because people come to my page and it'll be like a brand new person never tattooed, and they're like, "Yeah, and you want some awards?" And it's like awards I forgot about, And I'm like,
Awards,
"Yeah,
like they mean something to clients, you know.
they
Like,
do."
I understand like it's a hot debate like like awards don't. I mean, yeah, awards don't mean nothing amongst like tattoo artists, but like they definitely help sell yourself to a client.
Yeah.
Like speaking of like that lion tattoo I did earlier this week, he said what sold me as an artist to him was just the awards. Like he went on Google, yada yada yada, saw the website and saw all the awards and was like, okay, I'm gonna choose this guy.
Right.
So it's one of those things. It's like doing those free pieces that are like portfolio level pieces where you can
yeah.
enter in
The
contests.
stuff
and stuff
you
like
do
that.
at conventions go crazy, man.
be trying, man.
Really nice.
But-
And yeah, it's like what you said. It's like you're gonna end up having to sell yourself and prove to people that you are worth,
Right.
getting a tattoo from. And
That's another way to promote yourself too, like as an artist. So it all goes full circle. It's like, artists don't want to. I know a lot of artists who like get in their heads and like, oh, I don't want to do this contest because like I don't care about that. Like I respect that, I do, I get it. But if you're struggling, you don't have clientele, like maybe you should, you know what I'm saying?
Please
just
fall
like,
down
yeah,
swinging.
yeah, just
Please
just
fall down
throw it, because it's like it's one of those things like you can't beggars can't be choosers, right? So
Yeah.
so,
Trust me, I got a losing record.
yeah, yeah, you gonna so
Wait.
yeah, you gotta prove to people. And I feel like that's what a huge chunk of like a generation of tattooing is missing is like proving yourself to somebody.
right.
Because like all the greatest people,
Oh, that's a great point.
they don't want to prove themselves. They just
Yeah.
want the money. They just want the clientele. But it's like, what have you done to?
And it's like if you kind of like push against that now, it's like how is it like well, it's gonna sound whatever, fuck it, but it's like, like a lot of younger people now are kind of like you can't be too real with them because like they want to cancel you or say like, oh, you're insensitive or this and that. Like, no, it's just like you gotta have that dog in you, like you said. Sometimes like this in our industry, it is competitive, so it's like, and it's you see it now with like some artists are thriving and some are not. So it's like,
Oh yeah.
yeah, so it's like if you don't got that dog in you, you don't got nothing to prove. Like it's one of those things like you probably not gonna make it. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, so it's like you gotta have something like that's pushing you and driving you, in my opinion at least. But yeah, so that's a great like discussion overall. Like talking about where the industry's going, and then we just kind of went to whole but off tangents, so which was dope. But yeah, like, do you have any like words or messages or anything you want to say? Like, cause we covered a lot, so.
Yeah. Well, with just proving yourself too, adding on to that, I feel like I said, I came from something that was not a walk-in tattoo, so nothing was ever given to me. And any person that either Pablo or Tino had clientele-wise, and if they were interested in getting tattooed by me just to support or whatever, they were always like telling me, I gotta make sure like this is a good ass tat, this is a paying client,
Right.
And so some of the people that would be one of my first clients have been tattooed by like JP Alfonso and Tino.
That's a lot of pressure right there.
Yeah, and I'm like, man, like,
Yeah.
you're expecting me to pull out something that great or something like that?
That's where that nervous kicks in. That's what I was saying earlier. It's like,
But look how it forged y'all. You know what I'm saying? Like now, like you feel like you become like a tougher, like mentally tougher artist, and one that is able to survive like throughout the turmoil.
Right. And people think because like I get these big tats that it was just easy for me because I've only done it for 5 years, but like I really work hard to get those clientele and to get that person to come back as well. Like I don't just do that tat and get them out of here. Like I try to make them be very proud that this tattoo is on them, and to make sure that it's their favorite on their body or something like that. And yeah, I think that's very hard to do whenever like it's easier when somebody has 0 tattoos, knows nothing about tattoos, so you can slap anything on them and they're gonna say it's great.
Right.
But to really like prove yourself to somebody to keep coming back to me, like that's very hard. And especially coming up with like how I came up with this, like Pablo's super good, Tino's super good, like why would you choose Mindy?
Right.
And same thing as like because I'm like a small little Asian girl, a lot of guys that come into the shop looking for a tat, they don't believe that I can do it.
So did you feel like what challenges did you have because of that, like extra challenges?
Like people at first weren't really trusting me with bigger tattoos, even
I thought you did like small dainty stuff or something like that.
Just because like I'm a girl, and I get that because a lot of females out there, like a lot of girls out there, do smaller tattoos and floral stuff, things they like to do. But I personally was like trying to do something crazy.
Right.
And
I'm gonna do different shit.
Right, exactly. And the people that I respected, say again, Victoria Lee, that's like little Asian girl too. That's also doing some crazy stuff out there.
That works crazy.
So I like that, people don't see her in a different way. They just know she does badass tats, and I want it to be known like something like that. I don't want y'all to just think I can only do little stuff. And when people walk in and they ask and I talk to them about tattoo, they're like, oh, you gonna be doing the tattoo? And I'm like, if you want me to. And I'll show them, these are the books, this is this and this is my book. And then they'll start, like, oh, okay, she could actually do that, and they can see that I do everything. So I do try to prove to myself, to these people, that, you can get tattooed by me. I can literally do anything you ask for,
No,
that's a thing that's the thing people never really talk about. Is like when clients come in, they kind of do the ranking system of artists. So they be like, oh, you're going to do a lion, you're going to do a skateboard, but you're going to get a name. And it's like, you got to break that mold and let them know, like, hey, yo, I'm actually better than this.
Right.
Yeah.
And if you want to be
that
better
guy.
than that. Yeah.
Because you could, every first fresh artist always goes through that. It's like, you really, all right, bro.
No, it's definitely true. You can't let that get to your head. You gotta use that, like you said, as like ammunition, as fuel.
And like Mindy said, people do stereotype.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I'm sure. Especially when you don't fit the role of looking like, see, like you ain't got no tats showing like that. Well, you have one on your neck, but people see you with no tats and they're like, what, you do tats or something like that?
I've been lucky.
Yeah. And when you don't look like you got piercings and tats all over you, they definitely stereotype like, oh, I don't trust. Or especially when it's like cold out and I don't have anything showing, they're like, oh, you don't have any tats? You sure you could do this? And I'm like, okay.
Yeah. No, you like I said, being a woman, and then you said like smaller Asian, they probably thinking like you gotta go through a lot of extra bullshit. Like you said, same thing like Tez gotta go through clients questioning like, oh, you do this and that. It's like, bro, like his work is right here, his ward's right here. Like what you mean? You know what I'm saying? So
Because he black.
Yeah.
yeah, I mean yeah.
It is what it is. You don't expect that.
But also it's like him being darker skinned too. Like that's a extra thing on top of like I don't know, me. If you put me next to Tez, they gonna be like, well, I'm gonna go to Theo first. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's all stereotypes.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
I definitely believe that. And I mean, I really do like how black community team up with each other and support each other to
Shit.
get more
I'm
Oh,
it's work. We working on it.
Sometimes it's a crab in a bucket.
Yeah.
We just be chilling too. I'd be like, bro, why you putting
But
me into this?
I get what you mean. It's as far as like it's a more vocal thing as far as like because I guess in like the Asian tattoo community you don't really
hear that.
yeah because it's not. I guess it's not like in America at least it's not it's so separated. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Like whereas if you go to like Thailand or Japan or China like
Maybe it's
it's
more
all
deeper.
yeah I mean well it's just like more normal out there I guess you would say
Yeah,
but
it's like most of them.
yeah.
But when you're out here, I guess like because I grew up only being the only Asian person I knew tattooing for a while until I saw
Especially in
people.
Louisiana.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. And all the shops down there were only white people, So I never even saw like a black person tattooing. So I was like,
Yeah.
it's gonna be hard down here.
Yeah, I don't
Gotta make that move. But nah, they're definitely great discussions, great convo.
Grateful to be here.
Yeah, nah, thank you for your time. Like I said, if y'all don't remember Mindy Su versus the World, give her a follow on Instagram. Check out the YouTube channels.
Oh yeah.
If y'all in Douglasville, go check out the shop, One Love Tattoo.
Dang, you went from juggling, now you're on a podcast.
Right.
Yeah.
Again,
Full circle.
I'm blessed. I'm beyond blessed to be here. I think it's awesome.
but
Thank y'all.
thank you, man. Peace, man. We out.
We out.